Construction champions, it's your host, Ron Nussbaum, and we're here for another amazing episode of Construction Champions Podcast, where, as always, we're burning the damn house down. And that's your business, it's your personal life, it's your relationships with your significant others, your employees. You name it, we're going to burn it down so we can fix it and build it back up because that is the only way we're ever going to become the construction champions that we were meant to be. We're here every Monday and Thursday. And you know what? As I always say, is you guys aren't here for Ron Nussbaum. As big of a deal as I might think I am, no one's here for me. You guys are all here for our amazing guests, and I do not blame you. And today is no different. We have another amazing guest. Aaron, it is fantastic to have you here with us.
Thank you, Ron. I love the energy. Let's go.
Awesome, man. Let's go and let's be fired up. Why don't you take some time, tell all the champions out there a little bit about yourself?
Sure, Ron. I've been in the construction industry for over 20 years, finance and accounting. The last W-2 job that I had was an electrical contractor in the Midwest. We were at 30 million in 4 years, scaled it to 90 and sold it for a 12 times multiple.
I love it, man. That's big money we're talking about. So I know you're going to definitely be bringing the just the facts on what it takes. So we're going to dive right in there and I'm going to ask the $1 million question. And that is what makes a construction champion?
Introducing HomeTrack. We create digital new home profiles using homeowner specifications, pictures, and warranty policies, replacing the large paper binders normally provided by home builders to their buyers. We also digitize the final blue tape walkthrough and instantly create a punch list that both builders and homeowners can track and tell a resolution. By simplifying the handover process, we are saving home builders time and money.
Well, Ron, it's a lot of things, but what we focus on is profitability. If you look at the construction industry as a whole, our average net income is 3.8%, where I could go stash the money in the stock market and make 10%.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, I couldn't agree more. Like, if you're going to go through the hassle of having a business, like, it should be profitable. Like, let's be honest. That's why we got into this stuff. We didn't get into it because we wanted to make a few points off of whatever, make less than what I could go make working somewhere. But too often, that's what we see. And we see people not focus on profit. And they say, like, they use it like it's a bad word when that's not the case at all.
No, Ron, and it's very unfortunate that these business owners are struggling because what they try to do is they're the CEO and they try to be a CFO, a chief financial officer. And who went to school for accounting and finance in the construction industry?
I couldn't agree more, man. I say on here a lot of times is one of the smartest hires, but not even smartest, just one of the most educated hires we made is when we brought in a controller and CFO. Like, actually, not just an accountant, not a bookkeeper, somebody that actually understands how money moves and what it does will completely change your business.
Most definitely. And Ron, you made that first step. 98% of construction companies don't even have a CFO.
Why is that? Why, like, if you go outside the construction industry and look at business, which that's all construction is a business or service just happens to be construction, and you like every business is going to have a CFO. And you did you just say 98? What was that percentage?
98% of construction companies don't have a CFO.
I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you wonder why that 80% of them fail and go out of business.
I don't like that's an amazing statistic to me. You blew my mind. That don't happen on here very often. But when you think like 98, you might as well just say 100%. Nobody has any financial guidance. It's not even about understanding your books. Like, it's not even about understanding your P&L if you don't have any clue what you're going to do and how to drive the profits.
Exactly. And that's where, that's where it's dear in my heart, where, we're providing that service. And what we actually provide, if you don't mind if I share what we do a little bit.
No, go right ahead.
So, what we are providing, one of the milestones is that a CFO is not cheap. And a lot of these business owners can't put their mind on of paying a good CFO a salary more than they actually pay themselves.
Mm.
So you would be amazed that, like in the states that we work in, and I'll just give you Illinois, for example, the average CEO of a construction company makes less than $100,000.
That is mind-boggling.
Yeah. So how are you going to pay for a high caliber CFO in your company when their salary is requesting $200,000 to $400,000?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. In Illinois, that has to be an easy over $200,000 a year position. I mean, I guess my argument to that would be you're never going to make over 100,000 as the CEO of a construction business if you're not willing to pay the CFO a couple 100,000
Right.
to go
Right.
find the money so you can get paid.
Exactly.
So I mean, how do we change this in the construction industry? How do we get, I mean, that's just how do we get into the 80s? Like that would be a huge gap. If we change 18% better would be huge for the construction space.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where our, and not to talk about Daxit, but that's where our business model comes in place. We provide a fractional CFO, which is at the fractional cost, but you get all the benefits that a CFO can give a company.
Mm. So I love that because I love when we're talking about how do you start to bring stuff in. We talk about it in marketing all the time. We talk about it in sales where you can implement fraction or stuff that starts to get you the benefits that gets you on track without having to bring in the staff right away. Because that's always the pushback. It's like it's hiring somebody. It's I don't understand business owners that don't want to hire people. Like you started a business for a reason, but that's just be honest, like that is a barrier for people. So being able to bring in fractional people to be able to start to grow that, what I love about it is you get your knowledge from you and your team have a knowledge base that's way bigger than you say use Illinois that you go and you hire a $250,000 a year CFO for your construction company in Illinois. You're only bringing in his knowledge base and what he understands. If you start by bringing in somebody fractionally or on a contract, you start to gain other perspectives in understanding what works other places, and to me, that creates a faster trajectory than just going and saying, I'm going to bite the bullet and hire this person.
That is so true, Ron, because we even have an onboarding process and a monthly process where we're very structured and we get things done. If you would hire a CFO, it may take them years to get the financials where we get it done in months. So having that expertise, and then also we know what the best practices are in the construction industry.
I love it. When you saw onboarding new customer, besides the fact that they don't have uh they don't have somebody that does this. What are some of the most shocking things that you guys find that they don't know they should know?
Well, the biggest thing is that they have people around them and they're missing a piece. So they have a CPA that does their yearly taxes, which is only done once a year. They have their bookkeeper that records entries, who could be a relative or, you know,
And you can tell you've been around the construction industry.
you know. So these relatives or whoever, these bookkeepers, they haven't really been in the construction industry and they're just recording entries. And really what I believe one of the biggest attributes is financial clarity. And If you're a business owner, you said yourself, you got a construction company, you go out there, bid the job, and then your next job, your next thing to do is get the job done. Your other thing, go bid a job, go get the next job done.
Mhm.
What happens is you don't even look at, see, did I make any money? So that's where the financial clarity comes in, and what that, and then I'll just put it down in real basic is their financials are a complete mess, and you have no idea of of if they're making money or losing money.
Mm. Yeah, no, for some reason, that's just like the bar. Like guys will literally run out of their bank account and where that's at. And they have a, like you said, they have a bookkeeper, they have an accountant. So then they have QuickBooks linked up to their bank account. So people can pull information from there, but there's nobody tracking any of this information. And I'm not in construction anymore. I just spent a good chunk of my entire post Marine Corps truck was in construction. And when we got serious about job costing, that's when we started to understand a lot of stuff about projects that you would never even think about beforehand because it was just kind of like throw this at this project, this is with this project, that project, and bringing in a financial person into our company. Like that was a mandate. Like he was like, this is what we're going to do. You guys are going to have to job cost appropriately. You have to put these costs. He's like, I cannot do my job, which is to make you a highly profitable company, unless you do these fundamentals. And if you're not willing to do those, like this is pointless. You might as well not pay me.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
we didn't even bring somebody in from the construction space. We went and found the best fit we found was somebody from manufacturing that had been in controlling $100 million company. And here we are at like 12 million, trying to go to 25 plus. And we're like, what can we do? Because there was nobody in our market that understood that. And
Right.
the time we were in Michigan, no, we weren't moving anybody to Michigan. Like we weren't selling this position based on location. So we went and found somebody that just understood money, that understood how to set us up and what are the things we're missing. Because like we say on here all the time, is construction is just business. Our service is construction. So from a financial standpoint, is you should be treating this like any other business. Like 98% of us don't have CFOs. Like, what are we doing, guys? That my mind is blown.
Yeah. I got a question for you, Ron. After you got all your job costing figured out, what happened to your company?
Our profits went through the roof because it makes it so easy to understand where you're bleeding money.
Yeah.
Like that is literally you can't understand where the bleeding's happening. You can't. So I can have a feeling about it. Feelings are fantastic. We all have them. But unless you actually have the data, you don't know if that feeling's right or not. And I'm going to say my feelings were right about 60% of the time, and they were a miss 40. You can't operate a business on being right 60% of the time.
Not profitably.
Yeah, no, you can't. And and it's about what you start to understand is where you make the most money and where you lose money. And I know people are like, well, you don't lose money on anything. We might just not do as well on some stuff. I'm going to tell you, you are losing money somewhere in your business on a certain kind of work, a certain project. There is something you do in your repertoire that is costing you money. And if you would just understand that and eliminate that service, it would fix a lot of things in your business.
Yeah, exactly, Ron. And there's so many construction business owners that don't go through the steps that you did to find that out. Until you find that out, you're going to be stuck and losing sleep about money for the rest of your life.
So how does it work for guys out there? Say they're listening to this right now and they're like, well, shit, I'm part of the 98%. This is not good. I don't want to go hire a CFO, but what does it look like to bring on a fractional CFO so guys can start to, I guess, comprehend that in their mind?
Yeah. So we have a specific onboarding process where we actually come on site for 2 days to learn the company, the culture. We dive right into the financials. We learn, all the ins and outs of the company. And then we start working with the team to actually develop the system to actually show the business owner where they're making money or losing money.
Mm, I love that. And I guess one of the biggest, I can just hear it now, from the guys, if anybody's listening, is like everything's such a mess. Like I am afraid to do this. What do you say to the guys out there that are just like they know it's a disaster. They know it's on fire, but it's embarrassing to them.
I, what I tell them is, did you go to school for finance and accounting for 4 years?
Hmm. I mean,
No,
that's the truth. Like that's
right? Do you think Elon Musk has a accounting and finance degree? No, he's got a CFO.
yeah.
So these CEOs are in the same boat as other companies. They just don't realize that they need a CFO, and they wear that CFO hat, and that's one of the limiting, I call them lids, that they could actually eliminate and grow their company.
Yeah, no, that's we wear all these hats and none of us, chances are, went to school for any of it. Like
Right.
period. Like we just learn to be really, really good at what we do. And then typically you decide, I don't want to do this for anybody else. I'm going to do it for myself because I want some freedom or I want control over my time. And what we end up doing is we just own a job.
Right.
And that's why when you say numbers like 98%, that's believable because that's what most people do is they just end up owning a job that they're doing all these roles. A lot of CEOs that or a lot of guys that call themselves CEOs have not even taken a good enough look at am I a CEO? Am I the CEO or am I the COO? Like what are my strengths? Where am I at? They just people immediately when they start a business, they just decide they have to call themselves the CEO of it because that's the thing. You might need a CEO. You might need a COO. You definitely
Right.
need a CFO. Like you have to figure out where do you even fit in the organization. And I think that's one of the hardest conversations that guys have to have with themselves. Is like, where do I even fit in this org chart?
Yeah. And Ron, 9 times out of 10, they are the visionary. And like you said, they work for somebody else and they know that they can do it better and they can do it better, but they got to have the pieces around to them to be successful at it.
Hmm. Which I guess that gets me to a quite like so a lot of guys that think they can go do it better go out and then they do the exact same things that they watch somebody else do, and they don't put that team around them. They don't go find those key resources. Why do you think that is?
The couple things is one of it is ego. So, hey, nobody can do it better than me. So I'm going to just do it. And that's not scalable.
Hmm.
Then they end up working themselves and just having a job.
Yeah, we definitely have an ego problem in the construction industry.
Who doesn't, right?
I mean, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it until you let it get in the way of what you're doing or where you're heading or running your business. Like there's not a problem being the best in having that. I think there's a difference between having an ego and being egotistical. And people kind of get caught in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, everybody there, if you put the right pieces around you, they might not do it just like the way do it. They maybe might do it better. They might do it a little bit worse, but it's getting done and you don't have to do it.
And I think that's what we lose sight of is like it doesn't have to be exactly how you do it. Chances are there is a better way. I've come to that realization throughout my life is like I'm really, really good at whatever I take on and learn how to do. But chances are I can teach somebody else to do it how I do it, and then they will become better because they're going to take how I looked at it and then they're going to look at it through their way. And then when they teach somebody else, that next person is going to be even better. It used to amaze me as how, because I started as a laborer, became a foreman, I worked my way all the way up through like the construction industry and watching the foremen that I teach their guys and those guys become foremen. Their numbers were, I couldn't even imagine like me doing them. And it's because it kept getting looked at from a different set of eyes and a different perspective. But we had the core foundation of this is how you do it really, really good. And then they just made it great. And that's just how it works.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree.
Awesome, man. So for all the champions out there listening, if they wanted to connect with you, follow you. If I could talk today, it would maybe make this easier. Connect with you, follow you, learn more about what you guys do. Where's the best places for them to do that?
Oh, sure, Ron. We're on all the social media. Our website is www.daxit.com. And if you just Google Daxit or look us up on LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever those social medias are, we're out there. We're putting out informative information out there. So even if you like us, it's not salesy. What we try to do is we just try to inform the business owners so that they can be the best business owner possible.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for taking the time and being on the show today.
All right. Thank you, Ron. Awesome meeting you.
Awesome. All right, construction champions, another episode in the bag. I mean, 98%. Are you guys serious out there? Like, I don't even know if I can repeat that anymore. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. Like, I'm going to have this in my mind, wondering about it. We can do better. Like I said, if we get it to 80, that's an 18% improvement. I can't even imagine what that would do to construction businesses out there when you start doing the math behind what does 18% movement look like how many companies and organizations would that be? It would be huge. It would be unbelievable. And then we talked about like don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of bringing people in. This isn't what you were trained to do. It's just like if you're a framer, you can frame a house. You can probably hang the drywall. Are you going to be able to do it as good as the drywaller that's going to come in there and knock it out in probably half the time? A lot more efficient. Think about that. Like that's whenever we start talking about specific things within your business, I always look at it like that. It's you're not going to hang the drywall just because you can save a couple bucks. You're going to have the drywaller come in and knock it out so you can get on to the next part of the project. Think about it that way. So, champions, go check out everything that Aaron's doing. The links are in the underneath this. I don't even know what it's called today, man. Today is a crazy day. Make sure you go check out all of our fantastic sponsors. And until next time, be the champion you were meant to be. Hey, construction champions. It's your host, Ron Nussbaum here. And I want to talk to you about how you can automate all of your marketing. We've had so many people on here talk about getting the systems in place. Well, we have partnered with Build 12 and Construction Champions podcast. Les O'Hara, the founder, what really excites me is his 30 years in the industry. And now he's built a system to be able to nurture your leads and continue to utilize that. I personally use the system myself. Build 12 is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of value in there, and it's a way to start getting away from Angie's List and all of that kind of stuff, and start actually creating your own leads every day and have a system for them. So go on our website, check out the show notes, go check out Build 12 and what it can do for the front end of your business today. It's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend going and meeting with Les and his son, Devin, and talking to him about what they built for their own business, so the rest of the industry can take benefit from that. Here on Construction Champions, we're all about helping each other out. And what is better than contractors helping contractors? I say nothing. So let's go take this to the next level. Go check out Build 12. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Les or his son, Devin. We're here to help. We want to continue to grow the industry.
Ever found yourself revisiting a project because of a small miscommunication? It's frustrating and costly. That's why I switched to BuilderComms. Their construction communication management solution cuts through the noise, ensuring my team is always on the same page. Now, missteps are rare and rework is a thing of the past. Ready to streamline your projects? Check out BuilderComms today.